The story begins in Beirut, Lebanon, during a big and colorful gathering where many important people have come together. There are diplomats, local leaders, and workers from other countries enjoying food, music, and friendly talks. Even though the party looks bright and cheerful, there's a quiet fear underneath because Beirut is a place where people do not easily trust each other, and everyone carries their own hidden worries. Moving through the crowd is Mason, an experienced diplomat who has spent many years learning how people behave in places full of danger. His work often involves blending with different groups, collecting information, and making helpful connections. Beside him is his wife Nadia, who works for the same intelligence agency. They look like a strong team who understand risky situations and know how to stay calm. A teenage boy named Kareem is also with them. He helps Mason with small jobs. Mason hired him because the boy had no family and needed support, and Nadia treats him like a younger brother, while Kareem deeply looks up to Mason. During the event, Mason unexpectedly comes across Cal Riley, an old friend who works as a CIA officer. Riley takes Mason aside and shares worrying information about Kareem. He says that Kareem is not just a regular orphan, because he has a brother named Rafi. The two were last seen together about 6 months earlier. Rafi is believed to be involved in a violent attack during the 1972 Olympics, where a group of extremists killed several Israeli athletes. Intelligence officers think Kareem might still have a link to Rafi, and they want to use this link to bring Rafi out of hiding. Riley explains that information about Kareem's identity was leaked on purpose. The plan is to make Rafi scared for his brother, so he will come looking for him, giving agents a chance to capture him. Mason becomes very upset because he knows Kareem is only a child who has already lived a hard life. He feels shocked that people are willing to put the boy in danger just to reach his brother. Before Mason can understand everything properly, loud gunfire suddenly ends the lively celebration. People scream and run as chaos spreads everywhere. Mason rushes toward the sound and sees Nadia being attacked. A group of armed men storms in and grabs Kareem. In the middle of this violent moment, Nadia is badly hurt. Mason reaches her, but it is too late, and she loses her life. The kidnappers are Rafi and his group, and they escape with Kareem. This terrible night completely breaks Mason's life and forces him to leave Beirut behind. 10 years go by. Mason's life has changed in very painful ways. He was once a respected diplomat, but now he lives in constant guilt and heavy drinking. He earns little money by working as an independent mediator, settling small problems between companies and workers. Even though his skills are still sharp, his personal life is falling apart. He often gets into trouble, avoids responsibilities, and tries to stay away from anything that reminds him of his past. One night in a bar, he meets Rashid Ahmed, a man whose company Mason had helped years ago. Rashid tells him that some people from a news group want Mason to return to Beirut to give a lecture at the American University. Mason refuses immediately because he does not want to return to a place filled with painful memories. But Rashid hints that this invitation is actually an order coming through official channels. He hands Mason an envelope with travel papers, money, and a passport. It becomes clear that something more serious is happening behind the scenes. Rashid leaves quickly, and Mason feels he is being pulled into something dangerous once again. At the same time, a group of important American officials talks about Mason's past. They remember how he once played a major role in Beirut, but after his wife's death, he suddenly left and never recovered from the trauma. Instead of rebuilding his life, he fell deeper into alcohol and loneliness. Even though he is not the same man anymore, they believe he still has useful skills and connections that they need. When Mason finally reaches Beirut, he is shocked by the city's condition. Years of fighting have turned peaceful areas into broken neighborhoods filled with damaged buildings, cracked roads, and signs of repeated attacks. Bullet marks cover many walls, and people have learned to hide quickly even at the smallest hint of danger. The beauty Mason once loved is now replaced with destruction and sadness. Memories of Nadia come flooding back, and he feels both angry and heartbroken. Later that evening, Mason, still partly drunk, meets Sandy Crowder, one of the officials who planned his return. Mason immediately asks her why he was really brought back. Sandy takes him to a meeting where Ambassador Frank Whalen and several intelligence officers are present, many of whom Mason knew from years ago. They explain what has happened. A few days earlier, an important American operative was kidnapped in broad daylight by a group calling themselves the Islamic Liberation Army. The group said they want to negotiate, but will only speak to Mason. The kidnapped man is Cal Riley, the same friend Mason knew from the past. Riley has lived in Beirut for more than 10 years and knows secrets that could cause serious problems for the United States if revealed. Because of this, the officials urgently need Mason to help rescue him. Some still doubt whether Mason can be trusted, but they have no other option. Mason then takes Sandy to the place where he lived a decade ago. The house is now a pile of broken stones, dust, and memories. Standing there, Mason wonders why the government is so desperate to save Riley if the secrets he holds are so dangerous. Sandy stays quiet because her job is only to guide Mason and watch him closely. Mason is overwhelmed by memories of his old life with Nadia. He remembers their quiet mornings, their happy moments, and the strong bond they once shared while living in a dangerous city. These memories feel distant, like they belong to someone else's life. Deep inside, he still blames himself for losing Nadia. He believes that if he had made different choices, she might still be alive. After trying to calm themselves, the team prepares to meet the group holding the kidnapped officer. They travel to the chosen place, hoping to start the negotiation. When they reach, Mason is shocked to see that the leader of the militants is Kareem, the young boy he once protected and cared for. The sweet child he remembered has grown into a tough leader of armed fighters. Kareem demands that his brother be returned, saying that his brother is being held in Israel. Only then will he release the kidnapped officer. The American officials step aside to talk. They admit that if they truly had Rafi, they would have announced it openly or possibly taken action against him already. The Israeli representative then offers a deal. They say they will release Rafi, but only if they receive a special intelligence map that shows Syria's backup security system. The offer made by the Israeli side makes Colonel Gary and Ambassador Frank extremely angry because the map being requested shows the secret places where Syria hides its important defenses. If this information is revealed, Israel would easily attack Syria, which could start a very large and dangerous war. They reject the idea right away because the cost is too great, especially since neither of them is sure that Israel even has Rafi. Colonel Gary believes Israel only wants an excuse to enter Beirut and increase its control in the region. When Mason hears all of this later from an officer, he understands how tangled and messy the political situation has become. The officer also tells him something painful. Nadia lost her life because gunmen targeted Mason's old home, and Mason has carried this sadness inside him for years. Many people still think he is to blame, even though he suffered the biggest loss. The officer suspects that Rafi waited for a long time, hoping Mason would someday forgive him. But that moment never arrived, and now Rafi is trapped somewhere deep inside Beirut's disorder. Later that night, Colonel Gary tells Mason that every Israeli unit has been checked, and none of them have Rafi. Gary believes that if Israel had caught him, he would already be dead. Instead, he feels Israel is trying to use the situation to push forward a larger plan. They claim they could destroy the entire militant network in Beirut within 1 month if they're given complete freedom to act. Gary refuses because he knows that both America and Israel want influence over Beirut, and this plan would create even more damage. The CIA officer warns Mason that Rafi has already been missing for 5 days, and every hour increases the danger. If Rafi starts revealing secrets, attacks will multiply, embassies will collapse, and Israel will use the chaos to begin a full invasion. At this moment, Donald casually steps in and offers to take control of the situation, speaking in a way that makes it clear Mason might be blamed because of his past involvement with the brothers. The next morning, Mason goes to the university to give his lecture. Just as he begins, a huge explosion shakes the entire area. People scream and run in fear. In the confusion, a woman quickly slips a small note into Mason's hand. The note contains an address. Mason uses the chaos to quietly leave the university. Soon after, a group of armed men captures him and takes him to a hidden place. This is where Rafi is being held. Kareem gives Mason one short moment to speak with Rafi. Rafi tells Mason that Kareem wants him back, but neither the Americans nor the Israelis have him. He warns Mason that the embassy only cares about avoiding shame and protecting its own interests. He urges Mason to go to his apartment for clues. Before Mason leaves, Kareem threatens that if Rafi is not returned by night, he will sell him to Iran, where Rafi's knowledge will be worth a huge amount of money. Mason rushes to Rafi's apartment, but finds nothing helpful. A while later, Sandy arrives and reveals hidden information. Donald had been stealing large amounts of money from a special fund meant for Rafi. Rafi found out about this wrongdoing and was preparing to expose Donald. But before he could reveal the truth, he was kidnapped. Sandy found papers and written complaints in Rafi's apartment that proved Donald's guilt. She also admits that she and Rafi had a secret relationship, which is how she discovered the truth. Now, Mason understands everything clearly. Donald wants Rafi dead so that his own corruption never becomes known. Mason then remembers Rafi's strange message that mentioned the words pray, love only. He realizes it points to the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, known for many kidnappings. Slowly, everything starts to connect in his mind. America and Israel both want more control in Beirut, and they're willing to remove anyone who stands in their way, even if that person works for them. Later, Sandy meets Mason again and admits she stole $4 million from the same fund. She suggests using the stolen money to buy Rafi's freedom. Together, they force a PLO officer at gunpoint to lead them to the correct group. After a very tense negotiation, the group agrees to free Rafi in exchange for the $4 million. Meanwhile, Gary and Donald learn that Sandy has betrayed them, so they gather their attack teams. Their goal is not to save Mason, but to kill everyone at the meeting, including Mason, Sandy, and the militants, so that the truth never spreads. At the last possible moment, Ambassador Frank arrives and stops them. He reminds the teams that Mason was once his trusted partner and friend, and no one is allowed to act without his approval. Inside the hideout, Mason finally finishes the deal. Rafi is freed, and he and Kareem share a short moment of peace. But right as they walk outside, a hidden sniper fires a shot and kills Rafi instantly. Confusion and fear take over. Mason and the others race into a van and escape the area. The next morning, it is revealed that the sniper was the Slap, the same man who welcomed Mason when he first arrived in Beirut. He had secretly been a Mossad agent the entire time. He killed Rafi because Rafi had helped plan the attack on the Israeli athletes in 1972. For Israel, this was a long-awaited revenge. Sandy feels thankful to Mason for saving her life. She believes that maybe he has finally let go of the anger from years ago. Ambassador Frank later tells Mason that Colonel Gary has been sent back to Washington and Donald has lost his job because of what he did. The main intelligence position in Beirut is now empty. Sandy says she plans to apply for it. Mason, feeling calmer than before, tells her to reach out if she ever needs a second-in-command. In the final scene, a report explains that Israel has started a major military invasion into Lebanon. Their armies have entered the country, which forces the United States to join the operation. Soon after, the PLO attacks the U.S. Embassy and a Marine base, creating even more destruction. As the violence grows and new battles begin, the story comes to an end.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.